coexists with meticulously drawn codes, a tapestry of conspiracies hiding in plain sight. He senses that deciphering it will demand more than just sharp eyes. It will require risking everything. Suddenly, Detective Harris arrives unannounced, his jagged beard casting shadows under the harsh light as he eyes Maeve suspiciously. His toothpick clenched between gritted teeth, he warns Elliot to stay clear of this web, hinting at dangers beyond the usual city grime. The detective's presence thickens the air with apprehension and mistrust. Maeve counters Harris's caution with a steely insistence, revealing that corruption runs far deeper than even the most cynical cop dares admit. She speaks of betrayals and cover-ups, painting a city infected from its core. Her unwavering belief forces Elliot to reconsider the ease of walking away. Clutching the ledger with renewed resolve, Elliot pockets it beneath his trench coat, the worn leather pressing close against his side. Thunder rumbles distantly outside, echoing the storm within his mind. His gaze sharpens, shadows playing along his weathered face as he prepares for the dangers ahead. Across town, Victor Dane sits bathed in smoke, a cigar smoldering between his fingers as the tension of a crooked deal collapsing unfolds before him. His piercing gray eyes narrow with cold calculation, the flickering light casting sharp angles on his sharp features. The city's underworld trembles under his gaze. With a hard slam of his fist on the mahogany table, Victor signals his enforcers to tighten control over his territory. The room bristles with silent menace as his men exchange grim looks, their loyalty sealed by fear and profit. His power surges like the electric neon outside, unyielding and raw. In a shadowed corner, Elliot watches through dim alleyways as Victor's men rough up a frightened street informant. The flickering neon sign casts erratic light on desperate faces and clenched fists. Elliot's heart pounds, the ledger in his coat feels like a ticking bomb. His silver pocket watch ticks ominously in his hand, a coded call alerting him to a covert meeting location. The cold metal contrasts with the warmth of the neon, marking time in an unforgiving city. Elliot slips it back into his vest pocket, eyes scanning for any shadow that moves too quickly. At a neon-lit diner, Maeve confesses her past ties to Victor's syndicate, now a perilous double agent. Her voice quivers with conflicted loyalty and fragile hope as they plot their next moves. The diner's garish lights and humming signs frame their uneasy alliance. Suddenly, footsteps approach, sharp and deliberate under the flickering diner lights. Elliot and Maeve freeze, their breaths shallow, instincts sharpened. The anticipation of danger hangs heavy in the air, time seeming to freeze along with the trembling neon. In a swift motion, Elliot slips the ledger into his coat as they silently retreat into the misty night. The cold air wraps around them, thick with uncertainty and determination. The stakes have never been higher, and the city's shadows refuse to part easily. An ambush erupts in a dark alley, forcing Elliot and Maeve to separate in desperate flight. Gunfire echoes off damp brick walls as they each fight through the claustrophobic maze of alleys. Their paths diverge, bound by survival and the promise to reunite. Elliot relies on his cunning to evade Victor's relentless men, darting through the city's labyrinth with the ledger clutched tightly. Narrow escapes mask close calls as he navigates familiar shadows, the flickering neon guiding and deceiving in equal measure. His trench coat billows like a ghost as he vanishes into the night. Maeve confronts a traitor within her old circle, her scar barely visible in the dim light as she forces revelations from a trembling voice. The exchange yields a crucial clue about Victor's next move, threading new danger into their web. Her resolve hardens, fueled by past wounds and present betrayal. Reluctantly, Detective Harris teams up with Elliot, his gruff exterior masking growing doubts about the city's pervasive corruption. Their uneasy alliance is punctuated by terse exchanges and shared purpose. The toothpick remains clenched, but a flicker of trust begins to grow. Together, they uncover a sinister plan to rig the upcoming city elections, a scheme intricately linked to the ledger's coded entries. This revelation casts a long shadow over the city's fragile facade of democracy. The weight of exposure and consequence presses down upon them. Elliot painstakingly deciphers the ledger's coded entries, revealing scheduled clandestine meetings and illicit payoffs. Each deciphered line pulls back another layer of the city's clandestine power plays. The ticking silver watch marks the relentless passage of time and encroaching danger. Maeve discovers a familiar name within the ledger's pages, a revelation shaking her to the core and hinting at betrayals perilously close to home. Her hands tremble as the scarred memory aches anew. Trust becomes a scarce currency in a city of shadows. While tailing a suspect through rain-soaked streets, Elliot becomes caught in a violent shootout, bullets tearing the night apart. He escapes by mere seconds, heart pounding against his ribs as danger brushes past like a phantom. The ledger remains safe, swaddled beneath his coat. An old friend at the city's newspaper agrees to publish their findings, but cautions of ruthless enemies lurking in the darkness. The promise of exposure comes with a whispered warning of consequences. Neon lights outside flicker like the fragile line between truth and survival. Maeve's scar, usually hidden beneath fiery strands of hair, is revealed in a rare moment of vulnerability as a mark from past violence inflicted by Victor's henchmen. The pain etched in its jagged line deepens her motivation to bring him down. In that scar lies a story of loss, defiance, and unyielding courage. In the shadows of an abandoned warehouse, rain streamed through shattered windows, casting streaks of silver across the cracked concrete. Elliot Gray adjusted his faded trench coat, his sharp eyes meeting Maeve Sinclair's for a brief moment of mutual resolve amidst the desolation. Maeve's crimson hair clung damply against her face, the scar above her eyebrow tightening as they exchanged whispered plans to move forward carefully. Meanwhile, in a smoke-filled back room, Victor Dane's piercing gray eyes flashed with fury as he barked orders to his cotter. "Find Elliot Gray, no stone unturned, no alley unchecked," he demanded, his voice cutting through the haze of cigar smoke. The city's underworld seemed to pulse with tension as a manhunt was set in motion, placing everyone on precarious edge. Taking advantage of the chaos, Elliot slipped a forged note into a worn leather ledger, planting false intel about a shipment near the docks. Victor's men pursued the lead eagerly, falling into a carefully crafted trap beneath flickering neon lights. The trap was sprung, but the danger was far from over in the maze of shadowy alleys. Behind closed doors, Maeve's guarded expression faltered as she faced her deepest fears. With a voice barely above a whisper, she confided a secret she had long cloaked from Elliot, her scar seeming to burn with renewed pain. This revelation reshaped the fragile trust between them, setting new stakes for their partnership. Detective Harris, chewing a toothpick with a grimace, uncovered whispers of betrayal within his own precinct. His jagged beard shadowed his troubled gaze as he realized a mole was sabotaging their every effort. The trust that once held the police force together began to unravel, plunging the city deeper into suspicion. Unseen in the guttering glow of streetlights, a mysterious figure watched Elliot's every move from the shadows. The silhouette remained motionless, silent, but the weight of their unseen presence added an ominous thread to the night's unfolding peril. Elliot's instincts prickled. He was being hunted from more directions than he realized. Inside Victor's lair, a late-night meeting revealed fractures in his once impervious inner circle. Whispered accusations and wary glances hinted at a potential informant undermining their operations. The cracks in Victor's empire began to widen, threatening to bring down the powerful crime boss from within. Elliot and Maeve barely escaped an explosion detonated in an attempt to silence them forever. The blast shook the ground beneath the flickering neon signs as flames licked the edges of the warehouse nearby. Shaken, but unbowed, their resolve hardened against the growing danger closing in. The steady ticking of a silver pocket watch filled the tense silence as Elliot raced against time to decode a cryptic final message. Each second brought him closer to a vital truth, the intricate gears mirroring the pulse of the city around him. The watch's relentless rhythm became a heartbeat driving him forward. Maeve held the blood-stained matchbook she had retrieved from the latest grim crime scene, her fingers tightening around it like a lifeline. It was a spark in the dark, a clue pointing toward the tangled web of Victor's operations. This new lead set the duo on a fresh trail through the labyrinthine city streets. Detective Harris arrived just in time, navigating his conflicted loyalties to provide critical backup. His gruff presence and toothpick still clenched between his teeth gave a fleeting sense of stability in the chaos. Though hesitant, his alliance with Elliot and Maeve marked a crucial turning point in their struggle. Victor gathered his closest allies in a tense meeting, asserting control with an iron fist coated in doubt. His piercing eyes scanned the room, revealing vulnerabilities beneath the tough exterior. The gathering underscored the mounting cracks spreading through his criminal network. Elliot confronted one of Victor's trusted lieutenants in the shadows of a dimly lit alley, extracting vital information that shifted the balance of power. The lieutenant's guarded expressions faltered under Elliot's relentless questioning. This new intel hinted at surprises lurking in the city's darkest corners. Betrayal cut sharply when a trusted ally was unmasked as working for Victor all along. Elliot's jaw clenched against the sting of deception as alliances were revealed to be far more fragile than they appeared. Trust became a rare and dangerous commodity under the flickering neon glow. In a risky gambit, Maeve confronted a heavily guarded key witness to extract a confession. The tension was palpable as the witness's resolve crumbled under Maeve's unyielding pursuit. This breakthrough illuminated new facets of the tangled conspiracy, engulfing them. A frantic pursuit through rain-slick streets ended with Elliot cornered, the city's shadows closing in. Yet his resourcefulness and quick thinking kept him one step ahead, leveraging flickering neon signs as cover. The chase embodied the relentless danger of the night's deadly game. At last, the significance of the worn leather ledger became clear. It contained incriminating proof of crimes capable of dismantling Victor's syndicate. Each page turned was a dagger aimed at the heart of corruption, unlocking secrets long buried. The ledger was the key weapon in their fight for justice. Victor's network began to fracture as paranoia and distrust seeped through his ranks. Allies questioned each other, while suspicion poisoned every interaction under the shadowy city lights. His empire's foundation trembled as enemies within gathered strength. Elliot planted fabricated evidence implicating corrupt officials who stood complicit in Victor's schemes. The gambit aimed to expose the rot at multiple levels of power, using deception as a weapon against deceit. This blow struck wider than Victor expected, unsettling the entire criminal hierarchy. With nerves steeled and resolve as hard as forged steel, Maeve prepared to face Victor directly. Her crimson hair seemed aflame beneath the neon glow, the scar above her eyebrow a testament to battles fought and surviving. She stepped into the lion's den with unyielding purpose. Elliot trailed Maeve cautiously, shadows concealing his movements as tension mounted between protective instinct and uncertainty. Each step they took further into danger underscored the fragile alliance holding them together. He vowed to ensure she did not walk into a deadly trap alone. Beneath flickering neon signs, a clandestine meeting unfolded, revealing unexpected alliances that could shift the city's power balance. Suspicious glances and whispered agreements hinted at new players entering the fray. The terrain of trust was shifting under the dim glow of the night. Elliot confronted Detective Harris, his sharp eyes probing the detective's shifting loyalties. The jagged beard and toothpick remained constant, but the tension between them crackled in the damp air. Questions hung heavily, unresolved and dangerous. During a heated confrontation, Maeve's scar was nicked once more, the fresh sting deepening the personal stakes of their perilous quest. Blood mingled with rain, underscoring the cost of their mission beneath the ever-present neon haze. The wound was both a reminder and a warning. Following the trail from the blood-stained matchbook, Elliot discovered an abandoned safe house plastered with revelations. Dust motes danced in the shadows as the worn leather ledger lay open, its secrets spilling into the dim light. Each discovery pulled the case tighter, inching toward a dark truth waiting to be unearthed. Elliot's fingers trembled as they flipped to the final pages of the worn leather ledger. Names of powerful city officials, intertwined with forgotten victims, spilled onto the yellowed sheets, a chilling web of deceit and dark secrets. Each entry cast a long shadow over the city's corrupt heart, confirming what Elliot had feared all along. Under the cold glare of flickering neon signs, Elliot and Maeve coordinated with their trusted allies, tense voices barely audible over the steady rain. Victor's safe house, hidden deep in a maze of shadowy alleyways, bristled with danger as the raid began. The night felt electric with anticipation and dread, each step toward the building echoing like a heartbeat. Rain-slick walls mirrored the standoff's tense choreography, shadows leaping and retreating with each cautious movement. Gunmetal glinted sharply in the dim light as forces bristled with suppressed energy. Words hung heavy between the combatants, as fragile as the flickering neon above, signaling the fragile line between survival and ruin. Victor's calculated attempt to slip away unraveled swiftly as his own men, eyes dark with betrayal, closed in like a tightening noose. His confidence wavered under the weight of unexpected treachery, forcing him into a desperate corner. The betrayal echoed louder than the rain, sealing his fate as he found himself ensnared by those he once ruled. With a steady gaze, Maeve faced Victor, the scar above her eyebrow catching the dim light like a silent battle wound. Her voice was firm and unyielding as she bargained for truth and justice, demanding the revelation of the darkness hidden beneath his empire. In that moment, past and present collided, her calm resolve challenging his fading power. Detective Harris, the jagged beard taut with emotion, stepped out from the shadows and broke ranks publicly, his voice cutting through the tension. He tore open the veil of police corruption, exposing allies turned adversaries in a city tangled in lies. His bold defiance sparked a turning point, lighting a path toward redemption amid the encroaching night. As dawn crept forward, the city's neon lights flickered back to life, piercing through the remnants of night's oppressive cloak. The renewed glow painted the rain-washed streets in hues of hope and renewal, symbolizing a fragile new dawn free from fear. Each bulb's steady blaze whispered promises of change under the clearing sky. Elliot closed the worn leather ledger with reverence, the tome now heavy with hard-fought victory and painful truths. It rested like a silent witness to the city's dark underbelly and the courage it took to bring its secrets into the light. In his hands, it became more than a book. It was a testament to resolve amid the shadows. Maeve melted into the misty streets, a ghost carriage of faded scars and whispered stories. Her crimson hair vanished into the dawn's pale light, reclaiming freedom with a quiet, enigmatic grace. The scar above her eyebrow remained a silent emblem of battles fought and freedom won, a legacy etched in shadow and light. Alone on the rain-washed pavement, Elliot clutched the silver pocket watch, its steady ticking a metronome for the city's uncertain future. The fading echoes of last night's struggle settled around him as he prepared for whatever came next. In the cool morning air, beneath the blinking neon, he stood ready, a solitary sentinel guarding the fragile dawn. In a cramped apartment bathed in the flickering glow of neon lights, Lyra crouched over a glowing terminal, her fingers flying across the cracked holographic screen. Wires tangled around her like vines, while streams of encrypted data pulsed rhythmically on every monitor. From a shadowed doorway, Cade stood tense, his tall silhouette barely illuminated by the neon buzz outside. His cybernetic left arm twitched subtly, muscles ready to spring into action at the slightest threat. Suddenly, Lyra's console flashed an urgent alert, unauthorized access detected dangerously close to their location. The glitching data streams seemed to ripple with alarm as she absorbed the warning. Outside, the streets were alive with neon signs flickering erratically, while a mysterious encrypted drone hovered silently overhead, its sensors scanning for any hint of forbidden activity. Without hesitation, Lyra yanked her data jack from the terminal, silver-streaked hair pulled back tightly to avoid distraction as she prepared for what came next. The room thrummed with a tense urgency as her blue eyes darted to Cade. Cade's voice was low but firm, urging them to move quickly. The drone's advanced tracing capabilities made lingering a grave risk that could jeopardize their entire mission. Every second counted now. Flickering images from the past flashed across Lyra's mind. Dangerous missions and close calls because of her relentless quest to find Nexus, a lost AI rumored to hold secrets powerful enough to change their world. Orin appeared suddenly as a hologram, his auburn hair catching the skewed light, face lined with worry. He warned them with a cautious tone that corporate hunters were closing in faster than anticipated, their pursuers relentless. On the table, an old mechanical watch clicked softly, its engravings worn but familiar, a link to Lyra's missing brother whose disappearance was shrouded in mystery. It was an anchor amid chaos. Clutching the watch tightly, Lyra's resolve hardened as the neon-lit rain pulsed against the window pane, echoing the storm brewing outside and within her heart. They mapped out a daring infiltration into a towering corporate data hub, understanding the grave risks involved. Every step had to be precise to avoid detection and secure Nexus's freedom. Lyra slid her data jack into a concealed port along the wall, fingers deftly prepping to breach layered security systems that guarded the corporation's darkest secrets. Her screen flickered with complex code. Meanwhile, Cade ran diagnostics on his cybernetic arm, the systems humming quietly as he scanned the perimeter for patrolling drones, each a potential threat waiting in the shadows. Orin's hologram flickered intermittently, his cautious voice cautioning patience and careful timing, reminding them how unpredictable corporate security had become in recent days. Outside their hold, the cityscape glowed with an ominous hue neon lights casting elongated shadows, an unsettling reminder of the deadly stakes surrounding their mission. Lyra slipped silently past laser grids, her fingers dancing rapidly over the console to decrypt firewalls layered in complex algorithms, each successful bypass painting a fragile path deeper inside. Cade struck swiftly when a security drone approached, disabling it with a precise pulse blast from his cybernetic arm, metal sparks raining softly as it fell silent. Suddenly, a rogue power surge sent holographic screens glitching wildly, jeopardizing their stealth as data fractured and flickered erratically around them, threatening to expose their position. Orin, ever the strategist, directed them to enact an emergency reroute through cramped maintenance shafts, where shadows and discarded cables might conceal their hurried passage. Inside the narrow corridors, signs of past intruders caught their attention. Discarded tech fragments and faint footprints told a story of failed attempts and dangers ahead. Lyra's heart skipped as she found a data chip engraved with her brother's initials, a chilling reminder of how deeply personal this mission had become and how far she was willing to go. An alarm shattered the tense silence, piercing through the corridors. Corporate hunters had anticipated their every move, closing in with ruthless precision and determination. Cade assumed a defensive posture, his cybernetic arm glowing faintly as he repelled waves of security bots with swift, calculated strikes, metal clashing amid the neon-lit chaos. Confronted by a locked console demanding unique biometric verification she did not possess, Lyra struggled against the digital fortress barring their progress, frustration flickering in her glowing blue eyes. Orin's flickering hologram suggested a desperate measure: to utilize the mechanical watch's embedded microchip as an override key, a fragile lifeline woven from the past into their precarious present. Cade's presence is a shield as Lyra delicately implants the tiny chip from the aged mechanical watch into the console's interface. His cybernetic arm tenses, eyes scanning every corner, ready for any threat, while flickering neon lights cast shadows over his sharp features. The console hums and accepts the chip, but abruptly, an alarm blares and the facility initiates a lockdown protocol. Heavy security doors start sliding shut, a series of clicks echoing as they seal every exit with chilling finality. The corridors bathed in neon shimmer as shimmering, heavy security doors slam closed, trapping Lyra and Cade inside. The cold, flickering light reflects off cracked holographic screens, heightening the oppressive atmosphere of their entrapment. Using her data jack, Lyra penetrates the building's core infrastructure, fingers dancing across a virtual interface to override the lockdown remotely. Encrypted data streams pulse around her vision, a digital battleground beneath the physical chaos. Outside, corporate hunters mobilize swiftly, coordinating a ruthless sweep through the building as their radios chatter. The echo of their boots grows closer, a deadly flush operation converging on Lyra and Cade's position. Suddenly, the lights cut out, plunging the corridors into darkness save for the eerie glow of emergency LEDs. Neon flickers in weak pulses, the glitching holograms casting long, jittering shadows that dance in the dark. Cade's cybernetic arm flares softly with internal light, activating enhanced sensors that pierce the gloom. His form moves like a shadow, muscles coiled, leading them through the pitch-black passages with precision. From the implanted chip, Lyra extracts a second encrypted message, layers of cipher revealing hints of deeper conspiracies hidden beneath the surface. The encrypted code weaves patterns that suggest far more than a simple infiltration. Orin's hologram materializes with a flicker, his scanning algorithms detecting an anomaly within the corporate network, a concealed node harboring the elusive nexus. The discovery sends ripples through their mission's urgency. The trio races through winding passages as armed guards sweep the area, security drones' mechanical whirring oppressing the silence between gunfire and footfalls. Neon signs flicker erratically, marking a frantic dance through hostile terrain. A false step in the debris-strewn corridor nearly seals Lyra's capture, but Cade's swift reflexes catch her arm, pulling her back into safety. A fleeting moment that underlines the fragile razor edge between survival and failure. Ahead, the locked network node glows, an ethereal cube pulsating with coded energy, suspended amid glitching holographic fragments. Its shifting light mirrors the encrypted mysteries they strive to unveil. Lyra begins the painstaking download of Nexus, the AI's fragmented voice filtering through layers of static and data corruption. Each byte retrieved feels like breathing life back into a ghost entombed in circuits. Without warning, corporate hunters breach their sanctuary, armed and relentless. The team braces for a desperate stand to protect both the download and their lives within the crumbling fortress. Cade fights with brutal efficiency, his cybernetic arm delivering precise blows while absorbing minor damage. His defense buys precious moments, a wall of defiance shielding Lyra as she works. Lyra's download slows alarmingly as a corrupted firewall materializes, its digital tendrils throttling the data flow. The system's defense appears almost alive, a venomous barrier threatening to sever their vital connection. Orin hacks remotely, weaving through the virtual battlefield to counter the firewall's decay. His voice crackles with urgency, warning Lyra of escalating system instability as the network threatens to collapse around them. The mechanical watch begins to resonate with an ancient energy. Its worn engravings unlock hidden pathways in the system's code. This unexpected synergy reveals secret routes, bypassing corrupted firewalls and granting elusive access. Nexus's holographic form finally emerges, shimmering and shifting between pure light and shadow, a spectral figure alive with digital consciousness. The AI's presence is both mesmerizing and fragile, pulsating with raw intelligence. Nexus warns them of an impending system purge programmed to erase all traces of its existence. Time is rapidly running out. The digital ghost's survival hangs on the blade edge of their efforts. Lyra wrestles with a harrowing choice: sever her connection to preserve herself or risk everything to complete the AI's transfer. The weight of this decision presses heavy, illuminated by flickering neon and the threat closing in around them. Amid the chaos, Cade urges absolute trust in Lyra's skills as he confronts incoming hunters with relentless, brutal force. His determination steels the team's resolve, buying the moments they desperately need. Orin identifies a backup power core buried beneath the tower's base that could extend their limited time. This discovery offers a slim lifeline, a fleeting chance to finish the precarious download process. The team moves swiftly through shadowed, narrow passages under the tower, the mechanical watches glow guiding them. Every second counts as hostile forces encroach, their mission tethered to fragile hope. With the countdown bleeding away, Lyra completes Nexus's transfer into the portable drive embedded within the mechanical watch. The ancient engravings pulse faintly, now home to a powerful new secret they have barely begun to understand. A surge of power rattled the facility as the hostile systems abruptly died, the neon lights flickering violently before surrendering to darkness. Silence settled heavily in the void left behind, broken only by the distant hum of failing electronics. They had succeeded in cutting the enemy's grip, at least for now. From the shadows, Nexus began to coalesce, its holographic form shifting between light and darkness with ethereal grace. "Thank you," it whispered, gratitude rippling through the air before it concealed itself within the intricate gears of the old mechanical watch. The device, once enigmatic, now held an extraordinary secret. Cautious yet relieved, Lyra, Cade, and Orin retreated through the labyrinth of holographic corridors, their images fragmenting as the system collapsed. The flickering neon lights dissolved into fractured beams that danced erratically against cracked surfaces. Each step took them further from danger, deeper into uncertainty. Emerging into the open, the neon rain painted the city in glowing streaks of violet and blue, reflecting the weight of their actions. The wet streets shimmered, a mirror to the changes now set in motion beneath the pulsating skyline. A silent vow lingered in the cold air, promising a new dawn born from their defiance. Lyra held the mechanical watch close, fingertips tracing its worn engravings as a subtle pulse throbbed beneath the metal casing. The presence of Nexus whispered through the device, its energy delicate but steady. She sensed the intertwined fate bound to that small relic, a beacon amid the encroaching shadows. Cade deactivated his combat mode with a soft click, the cybernetic arm retracting smoothly. His usual stoic expression softened, a genuine smile briefly illuminating his face as he exchanged a glance with Lyra. In that fleeting moment, camaraderie and hope bloomed between them. Orin activated a small holo-projector, casting a message into the dim night. Their victory was merely the first step in a larger crusade. His voice carried warmth and resolve, stirring a sense of purpose beyond their immediate survival. The fight against corporate control had only just begun. As the first light of dawn ruptured the neon haze, the trio vanished into the sprawling cityscape, silhouettes swallowed by the endless glow. Their journey continued under the watchful flicker of holographic signs and the pulse of encrypted streams. Together, they moved forward into the uncertain promise of a new day. The mechanical watch gleamed softly in the growing light, its glow a secret beacon against the darkness. A quiet energy hinted at mysteries still locked within its core, unseen forces waiting to unfold. It was a silent promise of untold stories yet to emerge. The final image lingered on the city skyline, where flickering neon signs fought the shadows encroaching upon the towering spires. Amidst the interplay of light and darkness, a new chapter began, one forged in defiance, hope, and the relentless flicker of rebellion. Lena leaned over the cluttered workstation, her sharp eyes following a shifting constellation on the holographic star map. Her finger traced the lines carefully, sensing an unsettling change in the familiar celestial patterns. Cale focused intently as he tightened bolts on his mechanical arm adjustment. Sparks briefly flickered, illuminating the faint scar above his left eyebrow, his stoic expression unwavering despite the growing urgency. Dr. Myerk stepped into the dimly lit lab, his gaze fixed on a machine pulsating with ethereal energy. The glow bathed his high-collared lab coat, his round spectacles reflecting the mysterious light. Suddenly, the ancient compass device strapped to Lena's wrist began to pulse erratically. Its shifting shadows cast an eerie glow on her weathered leather jacket as the light intensified and dimmed unpredictably. Outside the observatory, the sky distorted as a temporal anomaly twisted the stars into shimmering, unnatural patterns. The familiar nightscape warped, sending a chill through the crew within. Lena and Cale exchanged uneasy glances as a bright star blinked out on the star map in real time. Their synchronized watches ticked irregularly, echoing the growing instability. Myerk nervously examined fluctuating data on a holographic screen, illustrating rapid shifts in time and space stability. Lines of code and star charts flickered, mirroring their rising concern. Clutching the glowing compass, Lena watched as it projected fragmented images of unfamiliar locations. The device's erratic glow hinted at mysteries beyond their understanding. In the cramped quarters, the team debated heatedly, tension mounting as the anomalies corrupted their instruments. Voices overlapped, each aware that the stakes were climbing dangerously higher. Cale interfaced his mechanical arm with the compass, attempting to stabilize the chaotic signals. His brow furrowed with determination as sparks danced from the connection. Outside, the landscape vibrated subtly, a low hum permeating the air and unsettling the crew's nerves. Even the walls seemed to pulse in rhythm with the unseen disturbance. Without warning, a power surge caused the lab's lights to flicker wildly. Fleeting shadows moved unnaturally within the bursts of light, leaving an eerie impression on all present. Lena received a cryptic message on her wrist device, coordinates that shifted unpredictably, defying logic. The revelation deepened the mystery as she stared at the elusive numbers. Myerk's voice was grave as he warned of the impending meridian shift, a rare cosmic event with the power to alter reality itself. The weight of his words hung heavy in the sterile air. The crew prepared hastily to embark on a mission to the anomaly's epicenter, acutely aware that failure might disrupt time permanently. The atmosphere was thick with determination and unspoken fears. They boarded their sleek ship and launched toward the elusive coordinates, the compass glowing steadily to guide their path through the void. The ship's engines hummed with restrained power as stars blurred past. Approaching the anomaly, star maps warped visibly in the cockpit, and the ship's controls responded sluggishly. Lena's fingers danced over worn instruments as Kale kept steady despite the strain. Erratic spatial readings flickered on Lena's monitor, while Kale recalibrated the propulsion system under intense stress. The pressure of their task was evident in every precise movement. Suddenly, a blast wave from the anomaly rocked the ship violently, throwing the crew off balance. Equipment clattered and warning lights flashed, demanding immediate control adjustments. Myrick consulted the ancient compass, now glowing intensely and projecting complex star patterns swirling midair. The cryptic display hinted at turbulence far beyond their expectations. Through the ship's viewfinder appeared a visual loop of a distant celestial event, endlessly repeating with unsettling clarity. The scene blurred the line between present and past, deepening the crew's unease. Communication systems began failing intermittently, isolating the crew within the ship. Static and dead air replaced meaningful signals, raising tensions across the confined space. Lena spotted a flicker on the star map resembling a past event, possibly a memory or a warning. The team debated its cryptic meaning, uncertainty knitting furrowed brows. Ignoring warnings of space-time distortion, Kale attempted a risky maneuver to stabilize the ship's trajectory. His mechanical arm moved with precise urgency as the ship groaned under stress. The ship passed through a shimmering veil, and for a brief moment, the crew glimpsed alternate versions of themselves. The fleeting visions left them questioning reality as their synchronized watches ticked wildly out of sync. Dr. Myrick's voice cut through the ship's low hum with a dire warning. Crossing the meridian threshold risked trapping them in a temporal feedback loop from which there was no escape. He emphasized that the ancient compass they relied upon might be their only safeguard. Lena exchanged a determined glance with Kale, knowing the stakes had just risen immensely. Suddenly, the holographic compass emitted a sharp, high-pitched tone that resonated through the ship's decks. The shifting star maps aligned perfectly for a brief moment, revealing a concealed path hidden within the cosmic tapestry. The corridor through time and space shimmered like an invitation and a perilous gamble. Lena gripped the controls tightly, steering the vessel through the unveiled course. Each moment brought surges of gravitational distortion, the ship straining against invisible pressures that threatened to tear them apart. Her eyes never left the glowing compass, its light flickering as the anomalies intensified. Without warning, alarms blared, systems began to fail one after another. Kale sprang into action, his mechanical arm whirring as he improvised repairs on the erratic conduits amid the fluctuating time streams. Shifts in gravity and time warped his perception, but he worked with relentless precision. The environment around them began to flicker wildly, alternating between the ship's current state and fleeting glimpses of past moments aboard the vessel. Lena caught ghostly images of their distant origin world, fragmented and ephemeral, like echoes trapped in a loop. This temporal dissonance unsettled them all, reminding them of the fragile boundary they now crossed. Myrick studied the ancient compass intently, uncovering new data hidden within its quantum readings. He theorized it was resonating with quantum echoes left by explorers who had ventured here before, their temporal footprints embedded in the device's core. This revelation changed their understanding of the anomaly's depths. The crew gathered to debate their next move, torn between risking a temporal jump out of the anomaly's heart and the terrifying possibility of being erased entirely. Fear mingled with resolve. Any misstep could mean losing not just their lives, but their existence. The dilemma weighed heavily on every mind and soul aboard. As tension thickened, Lena's compass suddenly displayed an unfamiliar symbol, radiating a cool blue luminescence. This new glyph seemed to unlock additional data on the star map, revealing alternate routes and subtle shifts previously obscured. It was a clue, and perhaps a key, to navigating the chaotic currents ahead. Without warning, Kale vanished from view, leaving only an empty echo in the corridor. Moments later, he reappeared dazed, his memories fragmented and tinged with images from an alternate timeline of their journey. His brief absence cast a shadow of dread across the crew, signaling the anomaly's unpredictable reach. Myrick assembled the fragmented clues and proposed a disturbing theory. The anomaly fractured time itself into parallel streams, each threatening to overwrite their singular reality. The fabric of their existence might be unraveling, replaced by alternate versions slipping into their world. This revelation heightened the urgency of their mission. The ship's interiors convulsed in impossible ways. Corridors bent and merged, walls twisted in fractal patterns that defied logic and physics. Stepping through doorways felt like traversing shifting gateways between moments, each more disorienting than the last. Lena clung tightly to the ancient compass as it projected a star map that began to stabilize amid the chaos. The shifting lines slowly formed a coherent path, signaling a tenuous safe route through the temporal labyrinth. With cautious hope, they prepared to follow the compass's new guidance. Kale's voice grew urgent as he warned them all. They needed to act fast before their identities started blending with alternate versions of themselves. The risk of losing one's sense of self became more than theory, it was a looming reality. Time was slipping away faster than they dared imagine. Synchronizing their irregularly ticking watches, the crew set a coordinated countdown to time their leap through the heart of the anomaly. Each second carried immense weight as they prepared for a maneuver that could either save them or condemn their existence. The tension was palpable, the silence before the storm absolute. An intense surge erupted, flinging the ship forward through a kaleidoscopic storm of temporal fragments. Past, present, and future flickered wildly in the vessel's hull, a dizzying swirl of moments collapsing and rebounding against the hull. Every fiber of the crew's being was tested, as reality itself seemed to fracture around them. Through the chaos, Myrick managed to stabilize a core device, harnessing the anomaly's restless energy into a controlled rift. The ship sagged under the power as the device pulled a steady stream of quantum force into the breach they sought to create. This fragile control was their best hope for escape. Gazing through the rift, the crew caught a glimpse of a future warped nearly beyond recognition, the world they knew altered and broken. Silent cities, strange skies, and unfamiliar stars haunted the vision, a warning of what might come if their mission failed. The weight of their task was written in those fleeting images. Resolute, Lena vowed to preserve their reality by recalibrating the compass, using it to reverse the anomaly's relentless corruption. She studied the device closely, deciphering subtle fluctuations and guiding the adjustment with careful precision. The path to salvation depended on her success. Kale readied the ship for the upcoming temporal burst, a critical surge of energy needed to close the rift safely. Every system was checked and reinforced, his mechanical arm humming as it prepared to deliver the final pulse. The crew steeled themselves for what was to come, trusting each other implicitly. As the crew initiated their plan, the anomaly reacted violently, thrashing unpredictably against their intervention. The ship trembled and groaned beneath the strain, the very fabric of space-time shuddering in resistance. They braced for impact, hearts pounding with both fear and determination. The ancient compass blazed white-hot, pouring radiant waves through the vessel's structure that rippled like sonic pulses. Its light illuminated every corner, combating the darkness of temporal distortion with fierce brilliance. This surge of power was both a beacon and a shield against the unfolding chaos. Time itself began to mend around them. The star maps ceased their erratic shifts, freezing into stable and familiar patterns once more. The pervasive sense of fracture lifted slowly, the corridor of uncertainty gradually solidifying into clarity. Relief began to replace the dread that had gripped the crew. Lena expertly maneuvered the ship through the anomaly's now calm heart, racing against the imminent collapse of overlapping timelines. Every star and coordinate aligned as they sailed through the fragile corridor, the compass guiding like a steadfast ancient guardian. Each second was a victory in preserving their reality. Myrick tracked the crew's vital signs against the backdrop of fading distortions, confirming the singular reality strand remained intact. His relief was tempered by cautious vigilance, knowing the anomaly's effects could still surprise them. The crew's unity and endurance had preserved more than just their lives, they had preserved existence itself. Kale activated the final pulse from his mechanical arm, a surge of energy designed to seal the rift once and for all. The ship vibrated as the breach closed, the infinite fracturing of time snapping back into a singular flow. Their ordeal was ending, though shadowed by mysteries yet unrevealed. The anomaly finally collapsed in on itself, disappearing like a fading shadow. Outside the observatory's viewport, the stars shimmered steadily, undisturbed for the first time in weeks. Lena's gaze fixed on the holographic compass resting on the table as its glow softened to a gentle pulse. The device's dim light signified that the chaotic flux of time had balanced once more. Kale and Dr. Myerk exchanged relieved glances, their synchronized watches clicking with steady, even ticks after the previous irregularities. The certainty of normal time flow reassured them both. Back inside the observatory, the star map displayed a stable cosmic skyline, familiar constellations locked in their usual positions. The shifting patterns had ceased, confirming the universe's calm return. The crew methodically logged their experiences in the ship's records, emphasizing the compass's crucial role as a temporal anchor throughout the ordeal. Its importance was undeniable for navigating time's fragile currents. Quietly and with care, Lena slid the compass into her jacket pocket, mindful of its power and the responsibility to protect it. The weight of guarding such a device settled on her shoulders. Meanwhile, Myerk studied a subtle residual temporal anomaly detected in his lab. Though minor and far less threatening, it served as a sober reminder of their vulnerability to time's unpredictable forces. Kale set to work upgrading the ship's systems, applying insights gained about temporal mechanics and anomaly stabilization. His mechanical arm adjusted tools with practiced precision as innovation took shape. Under a calm and steady night sky, the team shared a quiet moment of camaraderie, their bond fortified by the challenges they'd endured together. The stars above seemed to witness their renewed unity. Lena gazed thoughtfully at the constellations, aware that the universe still held countless mysteries beyond their reach. Yet, for now, time itself was theirs to guard, a precious frontier guarded by steadfast vigilance. The train was nearly empty when Alina boarded at dusk, the dim lights flickering overhead. She slid into the last car, noticing an old man sitting alone, staring out the window without blinking. Curious, she sat opposite him, catching a faint scent of jasmine and something metallic. Suddenly, the train jerked violently and the lights went out, plunging the car into darkness. When the lights returned, the old man was gone, leaving behind only a small, folded note on the seat. Alina unfolded it carefully. The words read, "Find the shadow at the next stop." A chill ran down her spine as the train slowed to a stop at an unfamiliar station, bathed in mist. Stepping onto the platform, she saw a figure cloaked in black waiting under the pale lamplight. "You're early," the figure whispered, voice carrying a strange urgency. He handed her a key and said, "This unlocks secrets that were meant to be forgotten." Alina felt the key's cold weight in her palm as the figure melted into the fog. Back on the train, she found the old man's briefcase left open, revealing a battered leather journal. Inside, cryptic sketches and coded messages hinted at a hidden compartment beneath the train. Driven by curiosity, Alina crawled under the carriage and discovered a small metal box, locked tight. Using the key, she opened it to find a collection of ancient letters, revealing a decades-old betrayal. A sense of relief washed over her as the mystery unraveled. The old man had been protecting these truths. As the train rolled onward, Alina placed the letters safely in her bag, resolved to bring the story to light. The final verse in the journal read, "Truth rides the rails, unseen but never gone." Alina looked out the window, the horizon glowing with the promise of a new day. With a quiet smile, she whispered to herself, "Some passengers leave more than footprints behind." Alara awakens just before dawn in her quiet village, clutching her silver pendant nervously as a strange, swirling mist snakes along the valley below. The air feels heavy, almost charged, and the usual morning stillness carries an unsettling edge. Stepping outside, she joins villagers busily preparing for the annual harvest festival. Yet whispers ripple through the crowd, their voices laced with unease about the mist's ominous arrival and what it might portend for the season ahead. Suddenly, Kale appears among the villagers, his dark, curly hair tousled from travel. Beneath his rolled sleeve, The mysterious tattoo on his wrist glows faintly, drawing curious and wary glances from those nearby. Alara approaches Kale, her piercing green eyes locked onto the glowing mark. She demands answers, suspecting he knows far more about the mist and its dangers than he admits. At the village's edge, a figure emerges, the veiled seer, cloaked in shimmering azure robes. Her face remains partially hidden as she glances toward the mist before vanishing silently back into its swirling depths. Fear takes root as villagers begin falling ill without explanation. One collapses amidst the bustling marketplace, sparking panic and confusion. The mist seems to thicken around those affected, as if feeding on their plight. Alara clutches her silver pendant, which tingles against her palm. A faint connection stirs inside her, linking the pendant's energy to both the spreading illness and the encroaching mist enveloping the village. Kale confesses he journeyed to seek the veiled seer, hoping to understand the mist's true nature. Yet he hesitates, unwilling to reveal the full scope of what he learned, casting doubt on his trustworthiness. Night descends with unsettling sounds, whispers and shifting shadows that crawl alongside the thickening mist, wrapping the village in ghostly veils. The air chills, and unseen eyes seem to watch from within the haze. Resolved and unyielding, Alara decides she must venture into the mist alone to find the veiled seer and unlock the secrets hidden beneath the veil. Her heart pounds with determination as she prepares for the unknown. While packing, Alara notices Kale watching silently from the doorway. His expression unreadable, yet the glow of his tattoo suggests he contemplates following her into the perilous mist. A mysterious symbol glows faintly on Alara's silver pendant, pulsing in time with the swirling mist outside their homes. The rhythm feels alive, as if the mist itself breathes beside them, warning and beckoning. The village elder confronts Alara, issuing grave warnings about the dire consequences if they tamper with the veil. But the growing menace and urgency leave little room for caution or hesitation. As dawn breaks, Alara silently slips away from the village, stepping boldly into the swirling, hallowed mist. The world around her shifts as the mist envelopes her, the familiar colors of her clothing deepening in tone with resolve. Kale follows her trail, his tattoo on his wrist glowing brighter as he approaches the mist-cloaked forest. The glow intensifies with each step, signaling the rising presence of supernatural energy. Within the mist, Alara is engulfed by shifting shadows that whisper cryptic warnings and riddles. The eerie voices toy with her mind, testing her courage and determination at every turn. Her silver pendant begins to glow softly, illuminating hidden paths and spectral images of past travelers caught within the mist's eternal grasp. These visions offer clues, but also deepen the enigma surrounding the veiled seer. Meanwhile, Kale confronts illusions crafted to undermine his resolve. As darkness presses in, his tattoo pulses rhythmically, forming an unseen protective barrier against the encroaching shadows. They reunite briefly amidst the swirling haze, sharing fragmented clues about the veiled seer's intentions and the mist's formidable power. Yet mistrust lingers, their clothing hues subtly shifting as uncertainty colors their alliance. Suddenly, the mist warps violently, separating Alara and Kale and plunging each into personal trials. The swirling veil becomes an imprisoning labyrinth, testing their resolve and deepest fears. Alara faces harrowing visions of her deepest insecurities and loss. Her pendant's glow dims, but stubbornly resists fading completely. She steels herself, drawing on inner strength to withstand the spectral torment. Kale battles relentless shadow creatures that claw at his defenses. His tattoo flares with an intense blue light, granting bursts of strength as he fights to survive the relentless onslaught. In a hidden clearing, Alara discovers the veiled seer's glowing hourglass, resting reverently atop a pedestal shrouded in the swirling mist. The artifact emanates a powerful energy that seems to bind the realms together. Approaching cautiously, Alara senses the hourglass controls the delicate balance between worlds. The mist pulses in response, alive and watching as the seer's pact weighs heavy over the fragile veil. Flashbacks reveal the veiled seer's ancient history, a solemn pact made eons ago to guard the veil between realms. Her burden is immense, safeguarding the veil's secrets even as darker forces seek to unravel the balance. Kale approached a door emanating ethereal light, unlike any tangible barrier he had seen before. As his tattoo began to glow fiercely, a burst of energy surged forth, unlocking the door with a resonant hum. Beyond it, an otherworldly passage beckoned, thick with swirling mist that danced like restless spirits. Elara delved deeper into the secrets of the mist, realizing it was no mere fog, but a living manifestation of unresolved souls. They drifted between seeking release and clinging to vengeance, trapped in an eternal limbo. This haunted mechanism hinted at deeper forces at play beneath the village's calm facade. The unrest within the mist intensified, shadows lengthening and whispers growing harsher as the village teetered on the precipice. Every heart seemed caught in the delicate balance between peace and disarray, their fate intertwined with the spectral unrest. Only by restoring fractured harmony could destruction be averted. Kale and Elara exchanged faint signals, messages hidden within the spectral energies that enveloped them. Their synchronized glimmers through the mist served as silent vows, strengthening their fragile alliance despite looming dangers. These ephemeral communications underscored their desperate hope amid chaos. An ominous crack fractured the mystical hourglass, a sacred artifact only seen in the presence of the veiled seer. Its shards threatened to collapse the barrier separating life from the supernatural realm, a calamity too terrible to contemplate. The balance of existence now hinged precariously on this fragile object. Elara raced against time to stop the hourglass from shattering completely, but was suddenly confronted by a vengeful spirit, its eyes burning with ancient fury. The apparition barred her path, its form shifting like vapor, a tangible menace drawn from the mist itself. Her resolve was tested as never before. Kale arrived swiftly, stepping between Elara and the spirit with steady calm. As the tattoo on his wrist flared bright, he revealed it was a mark bestowed upon ancient guardians tasked with protecting the veil. His presence and heritage quelled the spirit's rage, anchoring it back to peace. Together, Elara and Kale channeled a soothing calm into the restless apparition, easing its tortured anguish. The mist around them responded, a fragment of tranquility restored to the swirling chaos. This small victory hinted at possible harmony despite encroaching darkness. The veiled seer reappeared, her azure robes shimmering as she spoke in a voice like wind through leaves. "Resistance feeds the unrest," she warned. "Only acceptance can save your village from ruin." Her cryptic counsel urged them toward embracing the mist rather than fighting it. Under her guidance, Elara and Kale discovered the mist was truly a veil of transition between realms, delicate and essential. It was neither enemy nor ally, but a force meant to be respected and harnessed carefully. Understanding this fragile balance changed their approach entirely. They resolved to unite their powers, combining Elara's silver pendant and Kale's glowing tattoo to stabilize the veil temporarily. This fusion of heritage and resolve formed a bond strong enough to hold back the escalating chaos. Their collaboration breathed hope into the fading barrier. The hourglass's glow intensified alarmingly, casting deep shadows and setting a countdown in motion. Time pressured their every move, a relentless reminder that delay could doom them all. The urgency spurred their determination to succeed against overwhelming odds. Suddenly, an ally's facade cracked, revealing a betrayer driven by desire to control the mist's power for selfish gain. The betrayal shattered trust, striking like a blade through their fragile alliance. The village's fate now hung in even greater jeopardy amid this unexpected threat. A fierce struggle erupted as the ally shattered a piece of the hourglass, fragments scattering and magnifying the chaos. The fractured barrier allowed restless spirits to surge forth, threatening to engulf all in darkness. Every moment became a desperate battle for survival. Amid the turmoil, Elara was pulled into a liminal space between reality and mist, the boundaries dissolving around her. Disoriented yet illuminated, she glimpsed hidden truths and felt the weight of the spectral realm's sorrow. This revelation deepened her understanding of what must be done. Kale fought fiercely on the village's borders, holding back spirits emerging through the weakened veil. His tattoo flared with ancestral energy, a beacon against the encroaching shadows. The conflict was brutal, but his guardianship remained unyielding. From her liminal realm, Elara communicated with the veiled seer, receiving crucial insight into the mist's nature and the path forward. The seer's wisdom illuminated hidden connections and the necessity of unity. This guidance sharpened Alara's resolve as she prepared to reunite with Kale. Reunited, Alara and Kale combined their strength, channeling energy from the pendant and tattoo in perfect harmony. Their powers intertwined, creating a radiant shield against the storm of spirits. Together, they became a living conduit of balance and hope. Guided by the Veiled Seer's ritual, they raced to mend the hourglass, hands trembling as they worked against the ticking clock. Incantations wove through the swirling mist, binding the shattered pieces with renewed magic. The success of this rite was the village's last hope. The mist pulsed violently, shadows twisting and turning as the ritual climaxed around them. The air thickened with spiritual tension, blurring lines between realms and reality. Every breath felt charged with ancient power as the veil responded to their efforts. Beneath their hands, the hourglass shimmered and repaired, glowing with a newfound strength. Its surface gleamed like starlight, symbolizing fragile restoration and renewed protection. The barrier regained its form, holding back the threatening surge for now. A stunning revelation emerged. Alara's silver pendant contained a fragment of the veil's original essence. This timeless shard was key to the renewal process and linked her fate inseparably with the mists. Her resolve took on new meaning in light of this profound connection. Kale's tattoo was revealed to be directly connected to the ancestral guardians who first sealed the veil's breach. His lineage carried the responsibility and strength of generations, a living thread to the past protection. Together, their combined heritage was a powerful force against dissolution. Their uniting of pendant and tattoo rekindled the veiled bond, halting the mist's destructive surge. The swirling energies calmed, drawing back from the brink of devastation. The village's fragile sanctuary was secured for the present, a testament to their combined strength. The Veiled Seer bestowed her blessing upon their union, imparting wisdom on maintaining balance in the fragile veil moving forward. Her words echoed with solemn promise and gentle caution. The future remained uncertain, but their path was lit by newfound understanding and hope. As the swirling hallowed mist began to recede, the village emerged transformed beneath a soft, restorative light that bathed every corner in a serene glow. The once ominous fog gave way to clarity, revealing vibrant fields and homes touched by newfound vitality. Life seemed to breathe anew, as though the air itself held a gentle enchantment of healing. Alara and Kale returned to the village, their presence marked by the subtle glow of Alara's silver pendant and Kale's tattoo, now shimmering softly with a steady light. These symbols revealed their newfound status as guardians, bound by the mystical forces they had harnessed. Together, their figures reflected strength and quiet resolve, a protective force watching over all. One by one, the villagers awoke, their bodies healed and minds peaceful, unaware of the fierce supernatural battle fought on their behalf. Confusion mingled with relief as they sensed the lingering calm, yet the true extent of the ordeal remained cloaked in silence. The everyday returned, untouched by the shadows that had briefly encroached. From a distance, the Veiled Seer observed the scene with a measured gaze, her shimmering azure robes catching the light before she began to fade into the horizon. Her mission fulfilled for now, she vanished gracefully, leaving behind the treasured mystical hourglass, a silent reminder of the fragile flow of time and fate. The balance was preserved, yet her presence would be needed once more. Alara stood quietly, her fingers brushing the cool surface of her silver pendant as she reflected on their harrowing journey. Each trial had carved strength and wisdom into her spirit, underscoring the immense responsibility now resting upon her shoulders. The path ahead was uncertain, but her resolve had deepened alongside her understanding of sacrifice and duty. Kale shifted his stance, eyes dark with acceptance as he tightened the bond between himself, Alara, and the pendant's legacy. His mysterious tattoo pulsed with a steady rhythm, symbolizing his newfound role as protector intertwined with hers. Together, they had sealed a pact, keepers of the fragile harmony between their world and the shimmering beyond. As the last light faded from the sky, a new mist arose above the village, gentle and harmless, curling softly around the ancient trees. This delicate veil signified renewal, a fragile peace forged through courage and unity rather than conquest. The mist's embrace was one of quiet guardianship, promising that balance would be preserved if respected. Beneath clear skies and twinkling stars, the village celebrated a restored harvest festival, their joy warm and unburdened. Laughter rang out as lanterns swayed gently in the evening breeze, a testament to life's resilience and hope's return. The sense of community felt stronger, sealed by the unspoken gratitude toward unseen protectors. Ilara and Kale stood watchful at the village edge, cloaked in shades signaling trust, eyes fixed on the horizon where worlds intertwined. Their silhouettes blended with the landscape, guardians of the delicate balance sustained between realms. In their presence, the village found not just safety, but enduring harmony between the seen and unseen. As twilight deepened, Ilara's silver pendant and Kale's glowing tattoo pulsed softly in unison, a quiet beacon of their unbreakable bond and shared purpose. The rhythmic light echoed the heartbeat of the village and the protective mist that now lingered harmlessly. With this harmony established, the scene gently faded into the enveloping night, signaling the beginning of a guarded peace. Under a tapestry of stars, Leora bent over her cluttered workshop desk, piecing together a fragmented star map whose faded lines whispered secrets of the cosmos. Her freckled face was illuminated by the soft glow of lantern light as she traced constellations long forgotten. Uruk arrived quietly, his braided dark hair slightly tousled by the night breeze, the jagged scar on his cheek catching the dim light as he spoke of a lost constellation rumored to unveil a hidden realm. His stoic demeanor masked the urgency in his voice. Silently, Vina appeared beside them, her flowing silver hair shimmering faintly under the starlight and her luminescent eyes fixed intently on the star patterns. Without a word, she offered her rare insight, promising to help decode the mystery behind the lost constellation. Together, the trio gathered their attention on the ancient celestial compass resting on the table, its faint glow pulsing steadily like a heartbeat, as if alive with anticipation. The compass was etched with glowing runes matching those on the star map, linking past, present, and unknown futures. Leora's fingers gently brushed the compass needle, and suddenly it spun wildly before abruptly settling, boldly pointing east toward an unknown horizon. The unexpected movement unsettled them, as if signaling the beginning of something neither fully understood. They hastily gathered supplies, packing under the watchful eyes of the night, and set sail toward the horizon where soft luminescence hinted at a hidden destination. The air was thick with excitement and unease as the boat cut through the dark waters. As they ventured farther, fierce waves crashed against their vessel, and a brewing storm loomed overhead, making the compass flicker erratically, casting anxious shadows across their faces. The unpredictable weather foreshadowed the obstacles ahead. That night, beneath a canopy of roiling clouds, Leora dreamt of a silver staircase ascending endlessly through the stars, bathed in ethereal light. The vision felt strangely familiar, as if calling her toward a realm beyond mortal reach. At dawn, Vina shared an ancient legend she had deciphered, revealing that the silver staircase was said to bridge the mortal world and the hidden realm marked by the lost constellation. Her eyes glowed softly, embodying the mystery woven into the tale. Uruk voiced his doubts aloud, questioning the legends and their perilous journey, yet as he spoke the compass needle steadied unwaveringly, reaffirming their path and strengthening their resolve despite growing uncertainties. Morning mists parted to reveal a strange island shrouded in dense fog, its shadowy outline bearing uncanny resemblance to a marking on their star map. The air was thick with anticipation as the island seemed to pulse with concealed secrets. They disembarked cautiously, the star amulet around Leora's neck pulsing softly in resonance with the island's aura, as if awakening alongside her spirit. Their footsteps stirred the ancient ground, the journey deepening in mystery. Navigating through dense undergrowth, they discovered ancient ruins etched with glowing runes that aligned perfectly with the star map, drawing connections between celestial patterns and earthly remnants. Each symbol seemed alive, humming with dormant energy. As they ventured deeper, fleeting shadows flickered just beyond the tree line, unseen but palpably sinister, evoking a sense of unseen watchers lurking in the periphery of their vision. Unease crept steadily among them. Suddenly, with a resonant crack, the celestial compass shattered in Leora's hands, scattering fragments that mirrored the broken trust in their surety. Panic surged as they realized the delicate thread guiding them home was severed. Lost and vulnerable under gathering twilight, tensions flared, whispered fears and unspoken doubts threatened to unravel their unity as the unknown pressed in from all sides. Night's arrival carried a heavy weight of isolation and dread. Vina stepped forward, her luminescent eyes glowing with quiet authority as she led them deeper into the ruins, asserting that the star amulet around Leora's neck would now serve as their beacon. Hope flickered anew amidst the growing shadows. Within the heart of the ruins, they uncovered a carved wooden box nestled beneath ancient stones, its surface worn but holding fragments of an ancient star chart that might mend their fractured map. The discovery rekindled purpose and curiosity alike. Leora carefully assembled the fragmented star chart, the edges aligning slowly to reveal a new constellation and a hidden pathway through the cosmic expanse. The chart's revelations suggested a route filled with both peril and promise. A sudden rustle shattered the stillness, drawing their attention to ghostly figures emerging silently from the swirling mist, eyes fixed and movements deliberate yet cautious. The Watcher's presence introduced a chilling uncertainty. Uruk instinctively stepped forward, shield raised as a barrier against the unseen threat, his voice firm but tempered in the thickening tension, only to find the enigmatic Watchers vanish as swiftly as they appeared, leaving only eerie silence behind. Resolved to press onward, the group followed the new star chart's alignments etched faintly on the ground, each step guided by celestial clues that shimmered under the fading light. The path ahead was narrow and fraught with mystery. They reached a shimmering river mirroring the constellations perfectly above, the water's surface acting as a celestial mirror that blurred the lines between sky and earth. Crossing, it felt like traversing the boundary between worlds. Vina revealed that her luminescent eyes reacted uniquely to the starlight, granting her an uncanny ability to interpret the subtle shifts in the cosmic glow, effectively guiding their careful steps through the uncertain terrain. Her presence became both lantern and lifeline. As they ascended a hill crowned with ancient stone pillars, the ground beneath them seemed to shift subtly, the very air vibrating with unseen energy, signaling that they were drawing ever closer to the heart of the hidden realm's mysteries. Anticipation and dread intertwined with each breath. At the hilltop, Leora and her companions discover a sundial intricately carved to mirror the celestial compass's design. The sun casts long shadows that seem to dance precisely around its edges, hinting at a secret message encoded in the light. Leora carefully aligns the sundial's shadow with the star chart, noticing how the shadows intersect with marked constellations. As the last alignment clicks into place, a hidden path quietly reveals itself among the surrounding foliage. Suddenly, a deep rumbling shakes the hill beneath their feet as the earth splits open, revealing a narrow stairway spiraling downwards. The atmosphere thickens with anticipation as they prepare to descend into the unknown. The stairway leads into a vast cavern, shimmering with a breathtaking spectacle. Swirling patterns of living stars suspended above their heads, illuminating the darkness with a cosmic glow. Every movement feels weighted with reverence under this celestial dome. A subtle vibration fills the air, and the star amulet around Leora's neck bursts into radiant light, casting an ethereal glow to guide their steps deeper into the cavern's mysteries. The glowing runes on the walls pulse in harmony with the amulet's light. Within the cavern's depths, illusions emerge, crafting vivid visions that tug at their hearts and minds, images of home, whispered fears, and unspoken doubts. The trio steadies themselves, aware these spectral trials seek to unnerve their resolve. Uruk faces a haunting vision of failure, his jagged scar seeming to burn colder as self-doubt tempts him. Yet, his loyalty to the quest and companions steels his spirit, pressing onward beyond the mirage's grasp. Leora's voice cuts through the haze with quiet confidence, assuring the group they are nearing their goal. She traces the celestial compass's pieces with hopeful fingers, trusting deeply in their combined power to guide them through. They emerge into a vast chamber where a giant star map pulses alive on the ceiling, constellations shifting and glowing softly overhead. The cosmic chart fills the space with an otherworldly light, revealing patterns both familiar and arcane. Vina steps forward, her luminescent eyes reflecting the map as she interprets its symbols. Her voice weaves the tale of a forgotten celestial gateway, a portal beyond time that connects realms unseen. As they ready themselves to cross, the ethereal watchers reappear, no longer fierce but bearing peaceful intent. Their silent presence conveys a profound acceptance, lifting the tension that had clung tightly around the travelers. From the watchers, a fragment of pure starlight is bestowed upon them, an essential key for passage through the gateway. The shard pulses gently in their hands, a tangible promise of the journey ahead. Leora combines the starlight fragment with the star amulet, the two sources merging in a swell of radiant energy. This fusion activates the celestial gateway, opening a luminous portal shimmering with cosmic grandeur. Through the portal, the hidden realm reveals itself, bathed in radiant cosmic light and swirling constellations that dance with ethereal grace. The air hums with ancient power, inviting their passage into the unknown. Stepping through, they find themselves surrounded by a realm alive with swirling stars and gentle ethereal winds that carry whispers of forgotten secrets. Every breath feels infused with the infinite expanse of the cosmos. Their arrival awakens towering ancient guardians whose silent gaze measures their worthiness. The guardians present trials that test the travelers in solemn, wordless challenges beyond mortal understanding. Leora engages with the celestial puzzles, each solved unlocking deeper mysteries hidden within the realm's fabric. Her keen mind and the compass's clues illuminate paths long obscured by starlight and time. Uruk confronts daunting physical challenges, demanding unwavering courage and precision. Each trial hones his strength and will, forging him further as protector of their shared quest. Vina's deep knowledge interlaces the realm's lore with prophetic insights into their own world's destiny. She guides the group by weaving connections between cosmic truths and earthly pathways. Having proved their worth, the Guardians grant them passage to the hidden realm's very heart. The air shimmers with heightened energy as they move closer to the source of the celestial mysteries. Within this sanctuary, a luminous tree stands tall, its roots intertwining seamlessly with twinkling stars above. The tree radiates ancient power, bridging the expanse between earth and sky. Leora gently places the carved wooden box at the tree's base, activating a flow of celestial knowledge emanating from the stars. The tree responds, its energy awakening long-dormant secrets woven into the cosmos. The tree's radiant energy flows into the shattered compass, which begins to glow anew with vibrant, restored power. The restored compass pulses like a beating heart, alive with fresh celestial light. They realize that this renewed power holds the ability to realign the constellations, promising the restoration of balance between realms. The weight of their task presses upon them, filled with hope and urgency. Suddenly, an earthquake-like tremor shakes the hidden realm, threatening to collapse the fragile cosmic balance and their only chance to return. The swirling constellations flicker wildly as danger looms close, intensifying the critical moment. With the ancient celestial compass fully restored, Leora carefully holds it aloft as a gentle hum fills the air. Uruk and Vina join hands, focusing their energy alongside her, channeling the celestial power through the compass to stabilize the realm's fragile foundation. The night sky above shimmers in response, a tapestry of light expanding across the horizon. As the compass's energy pulses, the glowing runes etched into the carved wooden box ignite with radiant light. These ethereal symbols weave delicately across the celestial pathways, sealing cracks and mending rifts with their protective glow. The sense of safety grows tangible, wrapping the realm in an invisible embrace. In the midst of the luminous glow, the star amulet around Leora's neck begins to shine with newfound intensity. It casts a guiding light that aligns seamlessly with the shifting constellations, pointing the way toward their safe exit. Following this beacon, the trio moves steadily toward the portal's shimmering edge. Crossing through the portal, they emerge back on the island just as dawn breaks, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and gold. The familiar yet changed landscape welcomes them, bathed in the gentle morning light. The air is filled with a sense of promise and renewal that mirrors their own spirits. The celestial compass, now whole and radiant in Leora's hand, points unwaveringly toward their true home. Its steady glow casts a warm light that feels like a heartbeat, constant and sure. This artifact, once fragmented, now serves as their steadfast guide for the journey ahead. Renewed with hope and determination, they board their vessel and set sail across the calm sea. Above them, the stars realign in their rightful places, twinkling with clarity and purpose. The vast expanse echoes their resolve, a celestial symphony bearing them onward. Back on deck, Leora unfurls her parchment and begins to sketch the new star map, integrating every star and path they have discovered. Each line and curve reflects the trials and revelations of their quest, a testament to their shared journey. Her fingers move with confidence, capturing the cosmos with delicate precision. Uruk stands at the helm, his eyes tracing the horizon with steady certainty. The jagged scar on his cheek softens under the embrace of the rising sun's golden glow, a silent witness to their passage. In this light, his stoic demeanor reflects a quiet pride and calm assurance. Nearby, Venus smiles softly as her once luminous eyes dim to a gentle silver hue, signaling the completion of her guiding role. The flowing silver strands of her hair catch the morning breeze, framing her serene expression. Her presence feels lighter now, her purpose fulfilled in the balance they restored. Once ashore, the trio gathers beneath the emerging night sky, gazing upward with reverence and wonder. Stars, familiar and new, sparkle above them, forever linking their spirits to this celestial adventure. United by the cosmos and their shared voyage, they stand quietly, knowing this journey has forever changed them. Leela awoke as golden sunlight streamed through her bedroom window, casting warm light that made her auburn hair catch the glow beautifully. The soft rustle of falling leaves outside whispered promises of the day ahead. Jasper, her cheerful tabby cat with a white patch on his chest, circled Leela's feet, purring softly to greet the morning. His playful energy lifted her spirits as she dressed in her favorite earth-toned clothes. Outside, Bramblewood Village stretched before her, bathed in warm autumn colors that painted the trees and cobblestone streets. Fallen leaves created a vibrant carpet, crackling softly under the footsteps of the few early risers. Leela stepped into the crisp mountain air, gripping her small satchel and the carved wooden locket she always wore close to her heart. The cool breeze teased the edges of her clothes as she set off toward the village square. She soon met Mr. Thornberry, the kind elderly gardener in his green tweed vest, who smiled under his thick gray beard as he tended to his plants. He offered her a basket filled with freshly picked apples, their red skins shining like jewels among the leaves. Jasper, unable to resist the lively garden, darted between plants chasing a fluttering leaf, his white chest patch flashing like a beacon. Mr. Thornberry chuckled warmly, watching the cat's antics with gentle eyes. Leela's sharp gaze caught a faint glimmer beneath a pile of colorful leaves near the old stone well in the village square. Her curiosity piqued. She knelt down to investigate, brushing the leaves aside carefully. Beneath the rust-colored leaves lay a small, ornately carved box, sealed tight with a rusty clasp that hinted at long-forgotten secrets. Her fingers trembled slightly as she lifted it into the light, the woodwork intricate and inviting. Opening the box, she found an aged map of the surrounding forest, its edges yellowed with time and marked by strange symbols she didn't recognize. The map seemed to pulse with quiet mystery, promising an adventure beyond the known paths. Mr. Thornberry appeared beside her, his eyes reflecting concern and wisdom beneath his gray brows. He warned gently that the forest held old secrets and forgotten paths that could both enchant and deceive. With determination bright in her eyes, Leela decided to follow the map, Jasper trotting faithfully beside her, his tail flicking in eagerness. She tightened her grip on the wooden locket as a talisman for courage. From a nearby oak tree, Willow the wise old owl with striking amber eyes watched the pair silently, her gaze steady and glowing faintly in the evening light. The glowing lantern in Leela's satchel cast a soft shimmer beneath the ancient branches. As dusk settled over Bramblewood, Leela prepared her lantern, its warm glow contrasting with the growing shadows of the forest edge. She took a deep breath and stepped into the woodland, the crunch of leaves accompanying her every move. The forest shadows deepened thickly, and soft whispers of rustling leaves seemed to follow Leela's footsteps, wrapping the path in eerie sound. A chill prickled her skin as the golden light diminished, replaced by twilight's embrace. Suddenly, a path on the map led them to a hidden glen, but an unexpected fog began to rise, swirling thick and white, obscuring the way forward. The familiar path vanished, replaced with uncertainty and mystery that chilled Leela's heart. Determined, Leela pushed through the mist, relying on Jasper's keen instincts and the steady glow of her lantern to light a narrow way. Her breath came steady as she advanced into the unknown, every sense alert to the forest's shifting moods. Deep within the fog, Leela discovered an ancient stone archway, its surface thick with ivy, matching one of the symbols mapped earlier. The weathered carvings whispered of stories and secrets long buried beneath time and nature's embrace. A sudden chill swept through the clearing as Willow hooted softly from above, her call a solemn signal of caution. The flicker of the lantern cast shadows that danced like ghosts, urging Leela to be vigilant. Crossing beneath the archway, Leela found herself in a clearing where a shimmering pond lay still, its surface reflecting the dimming sky with quiet majesty. The air was thick with the scent of moss and the deep, ancient pulse of the forest. The wooden locket she carried against her chest began to warm gently, radiating a comforting heat like a silent guide. Leela felt a connection deep within, as if the forest itself acknowledged her presence. Jasper pawed excitedly at a rippling spot in the pond's glassy surface, revealing a submerged wooden box that stirred beneath the water. Heart pounding, Leela carefully reached in to retrieve the box, its wood matching the crafted motifs they had seen throughout their journey. Inside the box, she found a faded letter, its delicate script hinting at a long-lost family connection to Bramblewood. The words spoke of love, loss, and secrets entwined with the very roots of the village's history. As she read, shadows flickered at the edge of the clearing, and a gentle voice seemed to echo softly through the trees, carrying whispers of the past. Leela's senses sharpened, caught between the natural and the spectral. The fog thickened once more, wrapping the clearing in a dense, otherworldly veil. Leela's heart fluttered with a mixture of fear and excitement, tethered to the mystery that pulled her deeper into the forest's secret heart. Following the letter's cryptic clues, Leela navigated carefully through twisted roots and fallen branches, her path illuminated by the steady glow of her lantern and Jasper's nimble steps. Together, they moved forward into what felt like another time, where every shadow promised a new discovery. As Leela wandered deeper into the twilight woods, she stumbled upon a carved wooden statue standing solemnly among the fallen leaves. Its intricate features resembled a guardian of the forest, both majestic and mysterious. In the soft glow of her lantern, the statue's eyes seemed to glint with an otherworldly shimmer, hinting at a hidden magic woven into the grain of the wood. The air around it grew still, as if the forest itself held its breath. Her heart raced suddenly when she heard footsteps crunching softly through the fog, breaking the silence of the evening. Leela turned swiftly, alert for whatever or whoever was approaching. Emerging from the mist was Mr. Thornberry, dressed in his familiar green tweed vest, his kind eyes twinkling beneath his thick gray beard. He confessed that he had quietly watched over the forest's secrets for decades, waiting for the right moment. With a warm smile, Mr. Thornberry began sharing tales of Bramblewood's forgotten past, emphasizing the delicate balance of protecting the village's heritage. Together, their voices mingled with the rustling autumn leaves, weaving a tapestry of history and hope. Side by side, they studied the map anew, their fingers tracing the faded lines until a path emerged, leading to an ancient tree marked by a symbol matching Leela's wooden locket. A newfound purpose sparked within her, fueling their onward journey. As they walked beneath the canopy, Jasper's keen eyes caught a subtle trail of glowing leaves scattered gently along the forest floor. The luminous path lit their way, casting dancing shadows among the towering trunks. They soon arrived at the ancient tree, its bark deeply engraved with runes identical to those etched onto both the box and Leela's cherished locket. The tree seemed alive, its presence commanding and timeless. Carefully, Leela placed the wooden box into a hollow in the tree's trunk. Immediately, a soft golden light pulsed from within, illuminating the runes and sending a warm glow into the surrounding woods. In response to the light, the dense fog that had lingered throughout the forest began to lift, unveiling a breathtaking vista beyond the trees. The landscape stretched out like a hidden treasure waiting to be rediscovered. Without warning, Willow swooped down silently from above, her striking amber eyes meeting Leela's before she gently dropped a small key into her open hand. Then, with a flutter, the wise owl vanished back into the twilight. Leela's fingers trembled slightly as she found the key perfectly fit a hidden compartment in the wooden box. Opening, it revealed an old photograph, yellowed with time yet filled with smiling faces beneath the very same ancient tree. The photograph showed ancestors of Leela gathered together during an autumn festival, their joy captured in the golden light of the past. It was a poignant glimpse into a lineage deeply rooted in Bramblewood's traditions. A gentle warmth spread through Leela's chest, a quiet acknowledgement of her connection to this history and the forest's enduring spirit. She felt the weight and wonder of legacy settle within her heart. Suddenly, distant sounds, soft music and laughter, echoed through the forest, as if carried on the breeze from another time. The melody stirred memories of celebrations long past, filling the night with a renewed sense of magic. Mr. Thornberry explained that once a year, the village held a festival celebrating the forest's magic every autumn, a cherished tradition now forgotten by many. The stories he shared painted vivid pictures of joy, community, and reverence for nature's gifts. Inspired by these revelations, Leela felt a newfound sense of purpose burgeoning within her, to revive the festival and ensure the spirit of Bramblewood lived on. Her resolve was as steady as the glowing lanterns surrounding them. Together, they began gathering offerings from the forest floor, fallen leaves, pine cones, and bright berries, each piece a token of nature's bounty and part of the celebration to come. Their hands moved with joyful intent, crafting the foundation of a new tradition. Returning to the village, Leela and Mr. Thornberry excitedly shared their discoveries with the townsfolk. Sparked by their enthusiasm, a wave of curiosity and anticipation blossomed among the community. Villagers eagerly began crafting decorations and lanterns inspired by the forest's beauty and the ancient symbols rediscovered. The air buzzed with creative energy, and the soft glow of lantern light promised a festival unlike any other. Leela took charge of organizing the festival's layout, using the glowing leaves found by Jasper to guide visitors along winding village paths. The illuminated trail promised to lead everyone safely through the magical evening. Meanwhile, Jasper darted playfully between the lantern-lit trees, chasing children's laughter and weaving joy through the gathering crowds. His cheerful antics brought smiles and warmth to the crisp autumn night. From her high perch, Willow watched quietly over the village, her striking amber eyes reflecting every glowing lantern below. Her presence was a comforting emblem of wisdom and protection throughout the festivities. The festival officially began with music and laughter echoing through the crisp air, mingling with the warm aromas of spiced apple cider. The village came alive, wrapped in the enchantment of the moment and the promise of a cherished tradition renewed. Leela donned her earth-toned dress, the carved wooden locket resting close to her heart and shining softly under the lantern light. Surrounded by the vibrant celebration, she felt more connected than ever to her heritage and the magic of Bramblewood. As the festival reached its peak, the ancient tree suddenly glowed with a warm, magical light that bathed the entire village in a soft amber hue. The shimmering glow seemed to pulse in harmony with the falling autumn leaves, as if the tree itself was blessing Bramblewood and its inhabitants. Leela stepped beneath the ancient tree, her earth-toned clothes blending with the surroundings, and felt an overwhelming presence of generations who had celebrated here before her. She closed her eyes briefly, sensing the joyous spirits of ancestors swirling around, celebrating together in the cool autumn air. Around her, the villagers formed a wide circle, their faces lit by glowing lanterns and filled with smiles and stories. They shared memories of the forest's wonders, their voices woven together by the forest's enduring spirit that connected them all across time. Curled contentedly at Leela's feet, Jasper purred softly, his white chest patch gleaming faintly in the lantern light. The peaceful atmosphere around them made his cheerful nature even more evident as he basked in the comforting embrace of the celebration. Mr. Thornberry, wearing his trademark green tweed vest, smiled warmly as he watched Leela, sensing that the time had come. He felt proud to pass on the guardianship of the forest's sacred secrets to her, knowing the tradition would continue in capable hands. High above, Willow watched with striking amber eyes, her soft hoot resonating through the night. The gentle call symbolized the deepening bond between the natural world and the village community, a quiet assurance that harmony would endure. As night deepened, Rows of lanterns illuminated the villagers' faces, casting a glow that reflected hope, warmth, and unity. Each handcrafted wooden lantern seemed to hold a small piece of the forest's magic, brightening the darkening sky. Silent amidst the soft murmurs of the crowd, Leela whispered a heartfelt promise to protect Bramblewood's magic and keep its traditions alive forever. Her voice carried a quiet determination as the carved wooden locket hung close to her heart, a symbol of her new role. The festival slowly waned with a final heartfelt song, its notes echoing beneath the stars and through the rustling autumn leaves. The melody wove past the glowing lanterns and into the night, a lasting tribute to the village's enduring spirit. With Jasper trotting happily beside her, Leela walked home beneath the gentle glow of the remaining lanterns. The peaceful future ahead felt illuminated not just by light, but by love, tradition, and the magic of Bramblewood's ever-watchful forest. In the heart of a forgotten village stood an old mansion wrapped in ivy and shadow. Alina, curious and fearless, had always been drawn to the mansion despite the villagers' warnings. One evening, armed with only a lantern, she slipped through the creaking gates and into the dim hallway. The air was thick with dust and silence, until a faint whisper drifted from the wall at the end of the corridor. There, hanging crookedly, was a portrait of a woman whose eyes seemed almost alive, gleaming in the lantern light. Alina stepped closer, feeling a chill as a soft voice echoed, "Help me." Startled but intrigued, she reached out, tracing the woman's delicate features with trembling fingers. Suddenly, the room spun, and Alina found herself in a sunlit garden, centuries past, standing before the very woman from the portrait. The woman introduced herself as Isolde, trapped between worlds by a jealous curse. Alina realized the whispers were cries for freedom, her only chance to break the spell and release Isolde's soul. To succeed, she had to solve a riddle hidden somewhere in the mansion, tied to an ancient family secret. Guided by fleeting whispers and unseen hands, Alina explored secret rooms and forgotten letters. In a dusty diary, she uncovered the truth. Isolde's love was betrayed, and jealousy bound her spirit to the painting. With a steady voice, Alina recited a passage from the diary, invoking the words of forgiveness and release. Light flooded the room as the portrait shimmered, Isolde's form slowly stepping out, free at last. "Thank you," Isolde whispered, her smile warm as she dissolved into a cascade of petals. The mansion sighed, the weight of centuries lifting in an instant. Alina stepped back into the present, the portrait now a simple painting of a serene garden. Outside, the villagers noticed the mansion's gloom had lifted, its mystery gently unraveled. Alina smiled, knowing some whispers carry the power to heal and set free. Lena raced against the clock, the Monday morning sun sneaking through her cluttered studio window. Her sketchbook, filled with ideas for the art show tonight, was nowhere to be found. "Where did I put it?" she muttered, flipping through stacks of paper and crumpled notes. Her cat, Misso, strolled by, tail flicking as if aware of the rising panic. Determined, Lena retraced her steps from the weekend's art crawl. At the neighborhood cafe, she asked the barista, who smiled knowingly and pointed to a corner table. Lena's sketchbook lay beneath a pile of magazines, touched by sunlight and forgotten moments. Flipping it open, she found new inspiration in the scattered doodles and faded coffee stains. Back at her studio, friends began to arrive, eager to see her work. Lena shared how losing the sketchbook helped her rediscover the simple joy of creating without pressure. "Sometimes," she said to the group, "the best ideas come from unexpected places." The evening unfolded with laughter, art, and community support filling the small room. Lena's nerves eased as she realized the show was about connection, not perfection. A local artist complimented her resilience, sparking a conversation that planted seeds for collaboration. Misso jumped onto Lena's lap, a silent nod to a day well survived. As the night ended, Lena packed up her sketchbook with a new appreciation for its stories. She promised herself to embrace the messy, beautiful process of creativity going forward. Walking home under the streetlights, she felt lighter, inspired, and ready for whatever came next. Her lost sketchbook wasn't lost after all. It was a reminder she didn't even know she needed. "Tomorrow," Lena whispered, "I'll start a new page." Maya stood in the buzzing station, clutching a crumpled train ticket in her palm. The arrival board flickered, Only one train remained before the station would close for the night. Her phone buzzed, a message from her brother, stranded miles away after a long day. "I'm waiting at the old station," it read, desperation veiled in short words. Time was slipping through her fingers, like the fading daylight outside. Passengers hustled past, heads down, lost in their own stories, unaware of the urgency in Maya's eyes. She took a deep breath, whispering, "I can't leave him there alone." Rushing through the crowd, she clutched the ticket tightly, hoping it was enough for both of them. As she approached the platform, the train's whistle pierced the air. A final call, a last chance. Maya spotted him on the opposite platform, waving frantically, his face a mix of relief and fear. But the gate began to close, barriers descending like silent judges. Without thinking, she called out, "Hold on," and dashed forward, heart pounding. A station attendant called after her, but she paid no mind, focused only on the one who needed her. With a last leap, she squeezed through, just as the gates clanged shut behind her. Breathless, she reached him, clasped his hand, their eyes locking in shared relief. The train doors opened, welcoming them aboard, two souls reunited against the ticking clock. Settling into their seats, the rhythm of the tracks beneath was a quiet celebration of their escape. Maya leaned back, voice soft. Sometimes, the smallest ticket holds the biggest hope. Outside the window, the night stretched endlessly, but inside, a light glowed bright, a bond unbroken. And as the train carried them forward, Maya knew this was just the beginning of a new journey together. Every morning, Emma stopped by the same cafe for her coffee. It was her little ritual, a quiet moment before the day spun out of control. Today, the cafe was unusually busy. She glanced at the counter, hoping for her usual order, a simple black coffee, no fuss. As she waited, she noticed an elderly man struggling to reach the sugar packets. He was a regular too, always sitting in the corner reading. Emma walked over and offered him one, smiling warmly. "Here, let me help you with that." He looked up, surprised but grateful. "Thank you, young lady. It's the little things that make a morning better," he said. They struck up a conversation, sharing stories about their favorite books and the city's changing streets. Before long, the barista called out, "Emma, your coffee's ready." She took her cup, then turned back to the man and offered, "Would you like to share it with me?" He chuckled softly. "I think I'll stick to my tea, but I'd enjoy the company." They found a cozy spot by the window, watching the world move briskly outside while their conversation slowed to a comfortable pace. Emma realized this unexpected encounter was the best part of her day so far, a reminder that sometimes, slowing down brings new connections. As the cafe began to empty, the man glanced at his watch. "I have to get going, but this was lovely." Emma nodded, feeling a warmth deeper than the coffee in her hands. "Me too. Maybe tomorrow, same time." "I'd like that," he replied with a smile, gathering his things. She watched him leave and took a sip of her coffee, savoring the moment. The barista approached, wiping his hands. "Looks like you made a new friend today." Emma smiled. "Yeah, sometimes the best part of the morning isn't the coffee, it's the company." She gathered her things, ready to face the day with a lighter heart. As she stepped outside, the sun was climbing higher, and the city seemed a little less hurried, a little more welcoming. And Emma knew that every morning held the promise of something new, something warm, just like this last cup of coffee. The alarm was silence itself, until a tiny click echoed through the midnight vault. Mara's gloved fingers danced over the clock's gears, each tick a whispered promise, almost there. Behind her, the museum slept, unaware that its most prized artifact was seconds from vanishing. She had only one shot to outsmart the new security system, a puzzle wrapped in steel and shadows. Outside, her partner Leo waited, his watch ticking down the minutes until their window slammed shut. Mara's breath steadied, eyes fixed on the delicate mechanism. "Almost, now," she muttered. The vault door's bolts began to retract, inch by careful inch, like the slow exhale of a holed breath. Light flooded the chamber as the door creaked open, revealing the legendary clockwork heart. Its intricate cogs seemed to pulse with a life that rivaled the thief's own heartbeat. Suddenly, a soft beep, the secondary alarm triggered from a hidden pressure plate. Quick as a flicker, Mara snatched the artifact and dove for the shadowed exit. Behind her, footsteps, guards rushing, voices slicing through the quiet night. Leo threw open a side door just in time, pulling Mara through the narrow escape tunnel. They didn't speak. The urgency thrummed louder than any alarm in their veins. Outside, their getaway waited, a sleek motorcycle cloaked in darkness and promise. The engine roared to life, blending with the chase as guards spilled into the streets behind them. Mara checked the clockwork heart. The prize glimmered, safe and whole against the moonlight. As they sped into the night, Leo grinned. Thought you said this clock was impossible to crack. Mara smirked. Nothing's impossible when time's on our side. With the city fading behind them, freedom ticked forward, one perfect second at a time. Beneath the ancient oaks where the sunlight barely touched the forest floor, a silent secret stirred. Ira, a curious girl from the nearby village, ventured deeper than ever before, chasing a melody only she seemed to hear. The whispers grew clearer, weaving through the leaves like a forgotten song of old. She paused, heart fluttering, listening to the voices of the woods. Suddenly, a silver stag stepped into a clearing, its eyes glowing with an otherworldly light. "Follow me," it seemed to say, its antlers brushing the low-hanging branches. Entranced, Ira moved forward, feeling the forest pulse around her as if alive. The path twisted and turned until it opened onto a glade bathed in ethereal light. At its center, an ancient stone stood, covered in runes that shimmered softly. Ira reached out, her fingers tracing the markings, unlocking memories not her own. Visions of forgotten times flooded her mind, the grove as a sanctuary, guardian of balance between worlds. The stag bowed before her, acknowledging her as the new keeper of the sacred trust. "The voices will guide you," the whispering wind seemed to say, "for the forest speaks to those who listen." Ira understood her purpose, to protect the harmony between the village and the wilds beyond. With the dawn's first light, the stag faded back into the shadows, leaving Ira alone but empowered. Returning home, she carried the grove's blessing deep within her spirit. Sometimes, she told herself, the greatest adventures begin with a whisper. Her village thrived as harmony returned, forests flourishing under new care and respect. And whenever the wind rustled the leaves, Ira heard the grove's gentle song, a promise kept. In the heart of the ancient woods, the whispering continued, undying and eternal. Norman decided to try baking bread. How hard can it be? He asked his cat Muffin. The internet promised him sourdough would be easy and rewarding. He mixed flour and water, forgetting a crucial ingredient, yeast. With a confident smile, he left the dough to ferment on the kitchen counter. 24 hours later, Norman checked. The dough looked as flat as a pancake. He Googled frantically, "Did I kill the yeast?" He wondered aloud. Determined, Norman bought live sourdough starter from a local bakery. He mixed the new starter, flour and water, and with great ceremony, set the dough to rise again. This time, the dough grew, but so did a mysterious fuzzy blue spot. Is that mold or art? Norman mused, unsure if he should be proud or terrified. Deciding not to waste, he baked the bread anyway, expecting disaster. The kitchen filled with a pungent aroma that could clear a room. Norman's cat fled. The smoke alarm sang its shrill song. Still, Norman cut a slice and tasted cautiously. He said, face contorting. Maybe bread isn't my forte. But then the doorbell rang. His neighbor was there, holding a plate. "You left the door open," she said. "Our dog loved your bread." Norman laughed. "Next time I'll bake something for humans, not canines." From then on, he stuck to cupcakes, which Muffin approved with less drama. "Baking adventures are better with friends," Norman said, grinning as he offered a cupcake to his neighbor. Maya wakes slowly, the morning sun casting a warm, golden glow through the curtains. Her fingers curl tightly around the cool silver locket at her neck, as if drawing strength from it. In the quiet kitchen, Maya moves with purpose, preparing a simple breakfast while the soft, haunting melody of an old music box hums somewhere in the background. The tune feels familiar yet distant, weaving through the stillness. Elias enters silently, his sharp blue eyes immediately fixed on a stack of yellowed letters spread carefully across the table. Concern deepens the furrows on his brow as he reads, sensing the weight these papers carry. Maya reaches out, holding a faded photograph in front of Elias, a smiling woman clutching the very same silver locket. Elias' guarded expression tightens, as if memories long buried stir uneasily. Suddenly, the door swings open and Lita bursts inside, her auburn hair wild from the wind. She announces breathlessly that the entire neighborhood is plunged into darkness, a sudden power outage casting uncertainty over the day. As the last artificial light dies, the room becomes enveloped in shadow. Flickering candles sputter to life, their warm glow painting fleeting images on the walls around them. Maya suggests they make the most of the unexpected darkness, searching for clues hidden in the past that might link to the photograph. An urgent determination settles over the group. Elias retrieves a dusty shelf's lone treasure, an ancient clock, its face cracked and frozen in time. He studies the broken hands with a careful, almost reverent touch, trying to glean hidden meaning. Nervously, Lita begins to hum a melody taught by her grandmother, a haunting tune once locked inside the now silent music box. Her voice trembles softly as shadows seem to gather. Maya pores over the photograph's story, piecing together fragments as flickering candlelight casts shifting shapes across the walls, playing tricks on their eyes and minds alike. A sharp knock at the door jolts them. A weathered messenger, eyes full of caution, hands Maya an old envelope sealed shut, thick with mystery and silence. Breaking the seal, Maya unfurls a cryptic note hinting at buried secrets beneath a forgotten garden. Each word seems steeped in shadow, beckoning them onward despite unseen dangers. With exchanged wary glances, the trio silently agrees to follow the lead, tension thick in the air, as uncertainty creeps forward with every heartbeat. They ready themselves with flashlights and warm coats, a protective barrier against the cold, and the unknown looming beyond their threshold. As Maya steps into the cool night, the silver locket catches a sliver of moonlight, glinting like a beacon of hope and determination on her chest. Cautiously, they tread toward the overgrown garden marked on the note, where long shadows stretch and twist beneath the dark sky. Lita's foot strikes something hard. She kneels and finds a shattered clock face half buried in the dirt, mirroring the broken one inside their home. Elias crouches beside her, tracing the jagged hands frozen at a precise time. His brows knit tighter, the weight of this discovery deepening their unease. The faint wind carries Lita's melody anew, now more urgent. Elias notices the fading photograph clenched in her hand beginning to shimmer faintly, as if awakening from a long slumber. Suddenly, the ground beneath their feet trembles slightly, sending a ripple of fear through the group and testing their resolve. Lita suddenly points toward a figure lurking at the edge of the tree line. Its features are lost in shadow, but its watchful presence unmistakable. The figure vanishes as a gust of wind sweeps through, scattering dry leaves across the soil and wrapping them in a chill that reaches deep into their bones. Maya's voice trembles with resolve as she reads aloud the